Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally today in Away in a Manger Challenge. If you are new to my channel, here you will find many craft items, some furniture flips, a number of dump hauls as we have an amazing dump in town where you can take or leave whatever you would like. And therefore many upcycled DIYs, trash to treasures from those items. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. Today's challenge is with these lovely ladies where we need to upcycle or craft a nativity item. So make sure you check out the description box for the other crafters videos who are participating in this challenge. So number one, I am going to use this piece of post that was on a railing, a stair railing, but you could use a spindle or just a piece of wood that you have laying around the house that happens to have a somewhat cylindrical shape, and you could attach a bead to the top if you do not have one that already has this shape. I am going to link a description of some snowmen and some angels that I have made in the recent past so that you can check out some of those other items. But today I am going to turn these into angels. So just taking a black marker and some blush, I am just putting a very simple face on them for my little angels. I'm going to do two different ones today so that you can see one for the nativity and one for any other thing that you'd like to do with it. I made mine a little bit more in the fall since I do still have my fall decor up, and I thought that that would be pretty. So after I got the faces on them, I just used some Spanish moss that I had hanging around for hair, but you could certainly use any kind of a yarn or some roving if you have any. You could make raffia hair. So whatever you have in your stash, I just happen to have this in mine. So I just sort of made it a little bit, fluffed it back and forth in my finger to give it a little bit of a concave, added some glue and put that on the top, and then just trimmed that up to get the little hair for these angels. To make the wings, I have this kind of beat up pipberry or some kind of a garland hanging around my house. So I peeled some of those off, and they're nice flexible wire. And I wanted to keep the pip berries for the fall one, but take off the larger styrofoam balls that kind of looked a little worse for wear. And then went ahead and twisted a couple of those around the angel's body for wings. Now I thought this was really a cute way to make wings, but I have also done cardboard covered in wallpaper. You could certainly do tin if you have a little bit of tin and some tin snips. You could use wood if you have the ability to cut out wood, or if you have a wood cutout from the dollar store of a heart, you could just glue that on upside down in the back. So there's a myriad different ways that you can make wings, but I thought this would be kind of cute. So I just went ahead, twisted the wire, and then glued that on the back. On this first one, I went around the body. The second one I made a little bit different. So make sure you check that out, because I think the second one actually came out a little bit better for those wings. And then once the wings are, you can play with them all you want since they're wire, but once they're the way that I like them, I took a piece of eyelet trim that I had, but any lace, any fabric, any tulle, whatever you have in your stash would be great to make a little dress. Now I did cut some slits for the wings in order to get that to look like a dress covering the wings here. So you can see how I just sort of cut a slit and then glued that in the back to make a little bit of a dress. And once I had that glued and secured, then I went ahead and just used some of the remaining pip berries and just wrapped those around and around one another until I was able to form a wreath, which you could also do with twister ties or wire or anything that you have in your stash. And then I just glued that right directly onto the hair. And then once I was finished with that, I took some twine, tied a knot, and glued it on the back so that I'd be able to hang this if I wanted to put it on a hook or on a Christmas tree or on a wreath. And that was pretty much finished, but I decided here that I wanted to add some arms. So I took another piece of the eyelet and I folded it down in half and then cut that and wrapped, I kind of rolled it and glued it, rolled it and glued it until I had something. This made it a little bit stiffer, doubling it. So you could certainly sew something. You could certainly find something, maybe a pipe cleaner or something that's flexible in your stash, but I didn't have that. So I just decided to go ahead and use this fabric and roll it up to the size that I wanted to, trim it up, glue it on. And I obviously made 2 arms and then just glued those directly on above the wings, and then I did secure them to the front of the dress. And you could actually put anything in her hands. This would be cute to make another Pipberry wreath and have her holding a wreath, or you know, a bird. If I had a little tiny clay bird, you know, it could be really, really adorable. If you have some kind of a booth, this would be a wonderful item that you could sell either as a tree topper if you made them larger or as Christmas ornaments. And here is the first one finished. I think she came out really adorable. I love the messy hair with the Spanish moss. And I think it's adorable hanging here on a similar colored fall wreath that I still have hanging up. It's just really, really sweet. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this cute little spindle angel. And that takes me on to the second one for today's challenge. And I pretty much did very similar with the decor and the design of this angel, but I opted not to wrap the wings around the body. I thought it made the dress a little bit bulky, so I preferred to just make the wings separate. And if you had a nice long piece of Pipberry, you could actually make a figure 8 and make this one and just glue that on as one set of wings, but I did not, so I had to do them as 2 separate wings, as you'll see later on. And then again, twisted around the Pipberries, pretty much just the wire on this, because I cut all the Pipberries off of for this particular one, because I wanted this one to have no color on it and to be very neutral, since I was going to be putting it in my nativity. And then after getting the dress on, I did the same thing for the arms. And to cover those shoulders, so to speak, I went ahead and just took a piece of lace and just draped that around as a little bit of a cape, and then glued that all in the back and glued the back of the dress as I had done on both of them, but left the back so that it sort of could flare out a little on the bottom. So here is where I added the wings in the back, and do use your little rubber finger thingies if you have them. My glue gun's not very hot, but I just went ahead and pressed those on. A figure 8 would have made that easier. And again, I hung a hanger because my nativity has a little nail in the back for an angel, so I fluffed out the wings. In this case, I gave her a little tree to make her look a little Christmassy hanging here, and then on a beautiful little hook here, but then here it is in the nativity. Now I'm going to post the nativity if you want to know how to make your own crèche out of barn board or scrap wood. My husband and I made this one last year, so I will post that in the description box if you would like to make one. And I hope that you enjoy these angels. Leave me a comment as to your favorite. And I'll also post a video I just did on scrap wood. I had a piece of beadboard, sanded some down, and made the most adorable little Christmas ornaments for free, and a couple of other things that you might like to do for free in that video. So thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.